Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Welcome. Before I forget, tomorrow is Rosh Chodesh. We've never done this before, but I was told that there's a problem with the nates. I mean, there's a problem with us, not with the nates. And therefore, davening is going to be over unusually late. Shir tomorrow is going to start probably 10 minutes later than usual, so if you're live somewhere, be aware of this.
7 minutes late.
7 minutes late.
Like right now.
What's that?
Not tomorrow on time.
Yeah, that's why today I was trying to get the guys into it. We have a few chashuv guests here. I don't know, some faces look familiar. What are you, doctors? You're a doctor? What are you guys?
I'm a medic.
A medic. And you?
I'm a doctor.
Doctor. And you serve where? What? You're allowed to say?
Yes, he's the mifaked.
Mifaked.
We're from the Kitat Korenot of Karnei Shomron.
Oh, very nice. Cool. And he's also part of your group, this guy? What's your name? Dovi? Toivi Schwartz, undercover, Kitatit Konenut, Karnei Shomron. Where do you live? Chas Shulim. No, where are you from? He's making mechur on the spot. Where?
Monsey
HaKodesh, Gewaldig. Sat right next to the guys. Beautiful. And what's your name?
It's really Lissauer.
Lissauer. You know that the seat is open. I don't know why. We're waiting for some guests, no? Okay. Shalom, where are you from?
Linden, New Jersey.
Oh, we're getting all these interesting New Jerseys lately. Gewaldig. Tom's River, you know that Tom's River is launching this Thursday in Kal B'nai Sachar. So, check it out. It's probably very close.
Maybe you should do a shout out to Yankee Dermer. He should already open the Linden Live location.
Why him? Why not you? You see how it is? You always push it on the other guy. What's the guy's name?
Yankee Dermer.
Yankee Dermer. You're gonna, Yankee, this tzaddik right over here says he's gonna help you out a lot, right? Or you're just gonna come there and like complain when the coffee's not ready and this and that. You wanna, okay, you're gonna help. Gewaldig. Kiryas Yoel Woodbury. Check it out. I like it. That's how it's done. You see this? This is the device. They know how to roll it around into the closets when the guests come. It's a whole... This gives me such... 1,000 people. 1,000 people took a 2,000 daf test. You know what that means? There's 1,000 goyinim out there. These are all people that know most of Shas by heart, kind of. What cheating? You don't even know what that is. We passed Eliakim? That's Rabbi Didier. Right over there is Rabbi Didier. Anyways, 1,000 people filled up Yenei Oma. It's crazy. Moshe Apple's starting his journey. That's like towards the end, 2097 daf. No matter where, thank you Hashem, I like this guy, for being the reason that I'm on track to finish my first ever Masechta. He's on track. Bienenstock, MDY boys, there's a big chabur over there in Bienenstock. Check this guy out. He's a piece.
Oh no, I'm not gonna be able to do the daf. Bam! Check it. Printed out art scroll of today's daf. Mid Yam Yam. I mean, I'm walking to yeshiva now. Check it though. Look at that. Mwah. It's not about the daf, it's about the Yomi. And that's something that you should never forget.
He's all by himself?
Low key though.
This guy is on his way to taking a 2,000 daf test. Be'ezer Hashem in 2,000 days. No. Look, no, seriously, he's doing his first Masechta, so let's call that 97. 2,000 days from now, I'll be ready for this 2,097 daf test. Okay, Rabbi, before I read this email, the way it is, we have a large tzibur. We have these guys from Karnei Shomron, Kitati Konenot. We got the guy from Tovia, whatever his name, from Monsey. We got the guys without the yarmulkes, with the yarmulkes. We have all sorts. And I received a number of emails. Not too many, maybe 3. But it means that it's hurting some people. Even Reb Mendy said a word about it. So I'm going to read this email. Don't take it becovered. Thank you so much for the wonderful stream that you provided since I started learning with you about Bastard Daf Beis. Had a wonderful times, and you give me the opportunity to have a will to finish Shas together with you. However, lately things started going very sour in your shiurim, with less and less sensitivity to all types of yidden. Firstly, in Makis, when you've shown bloody videos, then Hayres, where you've shown the Kohen Gadol dancing. Especially since we started Zevachim, where things have gone haywire. I've discussed this with countless of my friends that have been with you a long time. We all felt that it doesn't matter if you're Hasidish Litvish or Sephardish. All of them have types that are not okay with taking the Beis Hamikdash and making it into a circus with a bunch of clowns dancing around. I think it's disrespectful and takes away the specialty and the holiness of what we call Hashem's house. There are things that are kept sacred and you don't make a mock out of it, especially when you learn the Torah that Hashem gave us. I know it's important. I think it's important to be funny, and it helps. But why take the holiest place and the holiest people and make them sound like a bunch of clowns dancing and fressing and having competitions? It is despicable and outright disgusting. Disgusting. Even if you don't agree with me, you can understand that people feel this way. I do. It's my opinion that Hashem doesn't appreciate when I learn in such a way. If he can't change the types of jokes, then I believe I will have to be leaving, and it will really hurt me. Since I'm a kind of busy person, I won't have time and koyach to search for another Magid Shir. I kindly ask you to please change the kind of your jokes, that it should be enjoyable for all types, and not have to cringe and push away my kids while I learn and feel I'm not doing the right thing. Thanks. I really hope that I should be able to continue with you since I enjoyed so much. Thanks for understanding, and I apologize if I wasn't respectful. Moshe Weingarten. P.S. This is not only a message from me, it's from a group of Yingalite. I'm just a Shliach Tzibur. Okay? We'll have to take it into consideration. I spoke to the artist. We have new guys. We have to make sure that everybody's okay. The Masechta is sponsored by David Salomon, dedicated memory of every Murray. Rav Shmuel Baruch ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Doiv Zichron Levracha. Masechta sponsors anonymous Nishmas Doidi Shlomi Yehuda Zichron Levracha Shmuel Chaim Asher Shokav Lom Kodshikol Chayo anonymous. Shlomo Menachem Tzvi Ben Yenta, sponsored by Skybook Capital in honor of our friends Mary Kovacs, Taki and Shamshi Shlavrak for their devotion to Torah study in the Shir. Joe Gedalius Nishmas, my father Jack Gedalius, anonymous Tatzlach Baruch Nitzvi Gashmias. AMDY Coffee Corner month. Rivka and Dr. I don't know what it is. I come here, there's like a cough. I don't know if it's the air conditioner is going right on me. The whole day, Baruch Hashem, I don't have it. All of a sudden now, I remember yesterday I had the same thing, the day before. Rivka and Dr. Avram Epstein pray for a complete and speedy recovery for Dr. Harold Goldmeyer. Monthly sponsors, anonymous from London, Parnas B'Shefa, anonymous. I can't chuckle when I give the sponsorships because of that guy that wrote. Is he special needs? Like, he's I get what he's saying, but is he special needs? He's going like this. It's like every time I start chuckling, it's like, I don't know what to do. Milsh Monasri, I'm thinking about this guy. What, is he special? And I saw a video years ago of Arabs when they study the Quran. They did the same thing. Like this. They shuckle also, back and forth. I don't know. Something that started years ago. It's in the genes. I can't even stop. I want to stop and I can't. In honor of my Chavrusa Simchala, Ben Tzim Glicksman. Mazel tov to Talia on her birthday. Urgent for Shleima for Chaim Yosef Ariel Ben Sarah Rezel. Weekly sponsors anonymous for a winter filled with growth. Amen. Daily sponsors anonymous. Thank you Hashem. Hatzlachim Parnas Refuah Shleima L'chol Choyli Am Yisrael. Amen. Karen Fireman, in honor of my husband Stan. Isn't that your? Oh, here he is. He finally showed up. Shalom Aleichem. We were waiting for you. The whole shir. What's your name?
Heschel Edelstein.
Shalom Aleichem. From?
Monsey.
I said, where's the guest? I have no idea where he is. Never saw him. Never knew he's coming. But thank you for coming because it was embarrassing that the seat was kind of available. It's perfect for you. Thank you. Stan Fireman. Isn't he your friend? Stan? No? Where's he? Oh, here he is. Yeah, Shamshi's father-in-law. So your wife, it's probably surprised. You don't even know. In honor of my husband Stan, whose commitment to MDY determined our schedule while in Eretz Yisrael. What does that mean?
And didn't miss this year.
And you couldn't go to different places. And is this like a shtoch kind of thing? Is like she being serious here? She's proud of you, or she's a little upset that you didn't go to certain places because you wanted to go?
We traveled during the day, but we made our schedule wherever we went.
Oh.
Starting this year.
All right. Gewaldig. Thanks. After Shir, Nachal Noam 2, go speak to my wife because she wanted me to go with the kids on different trips. Go explain to her how it works. Avi Bar, Mazel Tov to my chaver and Chavrusa Dov Harris on Zevi's Bar Mitzvah. I didn't know about this. Mazel Tov, Dov Harris. Keep daffing and inspiring. MDY art monthly Refuah Shlema for Yonatan Eitan Ben Beshav Bracha Refuah Shlema Mordechai Ben Esther Refuah Sayelad Daniel Zev Ben Ayelad Esther. Rabbi Sai, we're starting a brand new Perek Beis Shammai. Question, a little bit of a riddle. Talking about pigul, we're not going to talk a lot about it, only for a few moments. Again, if somebody has a thought that he's going to eat this carbon, as he's shechting the carbon, he's going to eat this carbon in a week from now at his kid's bris, let's say, that's pigul. As he's doing one of the zrikas hadam, the first one on the first corner, he thinks to himself he's going to eat this carbon in a week from now. At the same moment, he thinks that he's also going to eat it outside of the Beis Hamikdash in Bet Shemesh at the bris. That's two machshavas. You cannot have two thoughts in pigul, so there's no karas in that pigul. He thought outside the allotted time, outside the allotted place. It kind of negates one another. It negates the severity of the pigul. So I have a question for you. What if, when he's spraying the blood on one corner, he thought to himself, I'm going to eat this at my kid's bris. So that's chutz l'zman. That's a good pigul. Then he does another corner, because he has to do at least 2 corners, 4 corners, whatever the carbon is. He does another. Over there, he thinks to himself, I am going to do chutz l'makom. Is that as if he did 2 machshavos, and therefore there's no severe pigul? Or the pigul got in, and what he did later, he thought about the makom, outside of the makom, that doesn't negate it. How do you think? How does it work? It's within the zrika. Well, it's zrika number 1, corner number 2.
Piggle, because the first one is not enough to not be market.
Oh.
It gets spilled after.
So it depends on how many zrikas you have to do. At the end of the day, we're going to see, according to Basil, all you have to do is 1 zrika. So if you only have to do 1 zrika and the rest is just for the mitzvah, so then the fact that you had another thought on zrika number 2, that shouldn't do anything to Zrika number 1, because Zrika number 1, that's it, it's over. But Zrika number 1, so he got the pigul in. It was mamish yoytze l'kol hashitas, the beautiful aveira of pigul. Then he tried to put another machshava in it. Zrika number 2, it's already too late. So let's see the Mishnah. Oh, are you able to get me that mizbeach over there? I'd love it. I forgot to get it before Shir. Just slightly careful with it. We have the outer mizbeach, which we're about to bring up over here. This outer mizbeach is inside the azara, and that's where most of the korbanos go. So any zrikas hadam that is applied to that outside mizbeach, shenasam b'matana achas, keeper. Thank you so much. Here, 1 zrika on 1 corner. That's it. He got the kapara. Ubechatos, however, when it comes to chatos, say Beis Shammai, you need at least 2. You need 2 zrikas, 1, 2, or 1 and 2. L'chatchila, chatos needs 4. You're saying when it comes to the chatos, you need 2 zrikas to be yotze. Ubesil oimrim av chatos shenesona matana achas kiper. It's simple. All korbanos, 1 is enough. The fichach, so it comes out, im nasan it's a rishona ketikna. if he didn't have any bad intent during the first zrika, he wasn't thinking that I'm going to eat it by my son's bris, I'm going to eat it outside of its place. But then at the second zrika, he thought the bad thought of I'm going to eat it at my son's bris. Kiper, it's too late. The second zrika is already after your yaitza. Your yaitza on one zrika. So the fact that you did another zrika, and during that zrika you had a bad intent of eating it in a week from now, it doesn't ruin it because it's already over. I'm doing it because the Torah says you should do 4 zrikas, but I was yaitza the kapara. And if I stopped right there, I would be yaitza at 1. So the fact that I continued, I'm just doing it better, and that's it. What if he had a bad intent during the first one? And the second one, he threw in another thought of outside the allowed place, not inside the Beis Hamikdash or inside Yerushalayim. I'm going to eat it in Bet Shemesh. That's chutz l'makom. Pigul v'chayavim alav kares. I did the wrong thought at the first zrika. The fact that I had a second thought at a second zrika, it's too late. The second zrika is not essential. It's not ma'akev. And if it's not essential, not ma'akev, then another thought there doesn't do anything. Fine. So that's that halacha. Says the Mishnah. So let's see the Mizbech HaPnimi one more time. This technology is only going to get better. This is the beginning stages of it. We're going into the Heichal here, and this is the Mizbech HaPnimi. This is the Mizbech HaZav, otherwise known as Mizbech HaKtoros. Every day, the Kohen does the Ktoros on this twice a day. It's like this tall. What? There's one there?
We had one.
Yeah, it's there. You can't change. Sorry.
Really? What, he made it, this guy?
Mimi.
Can you get it? Check it out, it's over there. Is it gold? I don't know. I guess once I see it, I'll remember it. Stand on the chair, don't worry about it. Stand on it, I allow you. Oh, of course. Shkoyach. Same guy, Weisberger. What's his name? I keep on forgetting his name. Oh. Check this out. Wow. This looks better than the one in the picture. Sparkly. Look at that. All right. This is inside the Heichel. Does Dailam remember when you pour the blood on this? Yom Kippur. What else? Hayrius. Talmud Sechtas Hayrius. Paralam Davar. If the Sanhedrin make a mistake in a halacha, or they tell people to do Avodah Zarah, inside. Those are all essential. How do we call it on Yom Kippur? What's the famous thing, the Zrikas? Achas. Achas v'achas. Right. Doesn't matter. It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't say. It doesn't say. Here. It does say. The ones that are given on the Mizbeach HaPnimi, not the Achas v'achas, but it doesn't matter. It's the idea over there. Over there, you need every single one of the zrikas, or the applying of the blood, is super essential. Therefore, nasan kulam ketiknon, if he put all the blood where he's supposed to. Let's say he's supposed to put 4 on these quarters. Let's just say, and he missed, and the final one, he had the wrong thought. Psula ve'ein b'ikaras. You cannot have the thought of chutz l'zman on 1 out of the 4. You would have to do the chutz l'zman on all 4. Why? Rabbi Elimelech Goldberg gave me this idea. Where is he? Is he here today? This is our new thing. It's called Musagi Kachim. Instead of Musagi Shas, Musagi Kachim. There are a lot of them. Here's one for today. Ein mefaglin b'chatzi matir. It sounds super complicated, but it's not. Chatzi is half. You cannot do pigel on a half of the avodah. In order to be matir, in order for this carbon to work, to get the job done, to get the kapara matir, it's the same idea. To have the carbon work, you have to put it on 4 corners, let's say. Let's just for argument's sake, you have to put it on 4. You did 3, it's not enough. In order for you to do pigul, you have to have the thought during all 4. It's not enough to have the thought during a chatzi matter on 1 corner. If you only thought about this chutz l'zman during one of the applications of the dam, psula ve'imay kares. It's not a real pigul. Yes, it makes a puzzle, but there's no kares. Givaldi. So now we have an easy sugya. And I'm going to show you how regal achas the entire Amud over here and more. How do you know that one application of blood on the mizbeach, this mizbeach, not this guy, this one right over here, mizbeach hachitzoin, that's enough? How do I know? The blood of your carbon should be spilled. It doesn't say 4, 1, yishafech, 1 time. Here's the sugi Rabbi saying, super easy. Let me just show you this. I guess I should have shown you more. This is a typical carbon chatas. You're supposed to put 4 applications. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and one of them would be a chatzi matir. And Rashi always says, so I took this from Rashi. Okay. Here's the sugya. The pasuk says, "V'dam zevachim yishafech," 3 words. You should spill the blood of the carbon. We just said, what do we learn from it? That matana achas mechaper, one out of the 4, 1 out of the 2, depending on the carbon, 1 is enough. The Gemara is going to ask, well, wait a minute, I already used up these 3 words for this. What do you do with the leftover blood? You have a whole vessel of blood, and you went like this, but then on the bottom you always have the last 10% on the bottom. What do? We learn from this, you spill it onto the base of the mizbeach. I'll show you a video of it. It showed most of it, but we changed it a little bit. So what do I do how do I learn matana achas mechaper? So this is going to be the question. We're going back to the question. How do I learn the top thing, matana achas mechaper, in red, when I'm already using it up for that the shirayim goes in the... So he holds something else. He learned from somewhere else. But there's another lima we learn from that pouring it directly onto the mizbeach, even though you're supposed to throw it from a distance with force, it's okay to go over the mizbeach and pour it like this. I need a pasuk for that. It's very different to pour it onto the mizbeach and to do a zrika on the mizbeach. I need a v'dam zechah. Gemara takes care of that. He doesn't hold like that. He holds that it's not okay to pour. You got to only throw. Okay. I learned from here that meiser and Pesach, the carbon meiser and the Pesach, need a zrika. I don't even know you need zrika. Only from that. So again, going back, how could I learn matana achas mechaper? The Gemara is not saying, as if I didn't learn anything out of this pasuk. It's fresh. To teach me that 1 zrika is enough, but I need it for at least one of these 3 things. So that's today's sugya, or a lot of it. Most of Amud Aleph, and a little bit on Amud Beis. Let's see. So ask the Gemara, how could I learn from v'dam zechari shafach? That 1 application of the dam is enough. I need the pasuk for something else. Top of Lamzayin Amud Aleph. How do I know? Here, check this out. The leftover blood. What do you do with the leftover blood? You take it and you spill it onto the base of the mizbeach. We changed it a little bit. Last time we had it pouring directly into the hole. No, next to it. It'll go in eventually. How do you know that's what you do with the leftover? In other words, it's a sort of an avodah. It's not, you don't pour it into the sewer system, into the amma. You pour it onto the mizbeach. It's an essential part of the carbon. Oh, so I used up the v'dam zechach yishafech. Says Gemara, no, you didn't use it up. He learns this idea that you pour the shirayim on the yisoid, nafkala mid the Rebbe. This is how Rebbe yomer b'hanishra b'adam yimatzeh. Look at this. We're talking about chatas oif. There's a bird, chatas oif. You take it and you put the blood on the wall of the mizbeach. Now, how do you do it with a bird? It's not like it's pouring out of its neck and you're grabbing it in a cup. It's going to be like 2 drops of blood. Yimatzei el yisayim mizbeach. What's yimatzei? Here's yimatzei. I don't like the way he did it, but okay. He gave a few hours. You know, like in Shemona Esrei, people, there's different types of chucklers. There's the straight chuckler, and the side to side chuckler. He's apparently a side to side chuckler. This artist. I'm more of you throw a ball straight, that way. That's how I thought it goes, like this. You throw it, fine. Okay. The whole thing is off. The point is, you're doing it directly from the bird. We're giving people bad ideas here. Is this kind of chashuv enough for those guys? He's not so chashuv. Right. No Kabbalah. It's straight from the bird. Check out the pasuk again one more time. It says v'hizo midam, and then a second letter says badam. We could ignore the word badam, but the word badam is not important because it already says midam. I already know we're talking about the blood. What's the extra word? What carbon Rabbi Isai requires 4 zrikas sadam? Chatos. So I think that only a chatos, you pour the blood on the yisoid, on the base of the mizbeach. Shar dam nayin. How do I know other karbanos? From this pasuk. Interesting. From the furthest carbon, it's a bird. It's not even a behema. Chatos oiv. That what? He's not learning it from Vidam Zevachim Yishafech, this idea that you have to pour the blood on the side. He's learning it from the bird. Vidam Zevachim Yishafech is extra. It's available for me to learn that 1 zrika is enough. I told Reb Nachman before Shir, I rather somebody come to Shir for 1 minute and get up and leave than not come at all. For me personally, if it's hard for you, I get it. It doesn't disturb me. Fakert.
It's not an insult.
It's not an insult. It's not an insult. People have things to do. People have things to do in the morning. And when Dambi gets up at 8 o'clock, it's not an insult to me. He's here. No, seriously. No, there's a person that's very upset. Why you get up? No, that's the way the shir works. That I have no problem with. And it's the morning. The fact that people come is a chesed to begin with. People have kids at home, etc. And sometimes you have to get up. You have to get up. But it's better than exactly. It's not the daf. It's the yomi. It's better to come here for 5 minutes. And some people show up at 8:05 and they come for 3 minutes. Also better than not coming at all. Bakati lachuda also miboyer like the sanya. So another kasha. Okay, so we did, huh? Exactly. Not today. Today they're going to get it. If they come at 8:05, they're going to miss half of Amud Beis. Although we did start a little late. So we just spoke about which one? This one, the Shirayim. Talking about Shirayim. Now we're talking about this one. Shvicha there's a difference between pour. I'll show you here the video. Not the video. This one, beautiful. Here's 2 people doing similar but different. The guy on the right is doing his rika. He's at a distance to the mizbeach and he's throwing it with force. Things splatter all over the place, and that's the idea. You want the blood to get everywhere, to go down to. That's Rabbi Elimelech Goldberg, who we spoke about. It was your idea. You missed it, but we did a new thing. Musaga Shas, a new design, a new thing. Thank you for the idea. And this is shvicha, directly putting it on the mizbeach. Now, there's certain karbanas that you do zrika. Let's say we're going to talk about a chagiga and a carbon pesach. They bring together. The carbon pesach you have to pour it. The chagiga you have to throw it. How do you know that if you're supposed to throw it, like the chagiga, you poured it onto mizbech, yatsa. So in other words, shvicha is a little bit better than zrika. It's possible that zrika is included in shvicha. That if you pour it directly on the mizbeach, you're yoy to the zrika, but not the opposite. So once again, the question is, I already used up these three words to teach me that if I pour it onto the wall of the mizbeach instead of throwing it, I'm yoytze. So how does he have these three words available to teach him that one application of the dam is enough for all korbanos? Because he holds that it's not true. Pouring on the wall is not good. How do I know that Rabbi Kiva holds this? The snan geshmak. What bracha do you make when you bring a carbon pesach? Otherwise, it's happening soon. What bracha do you make? Huh? Asher kedeshanu b'mitzvaysav etzivanu al achilas pesach. Huh? Lechol? Lechol is a pesach. Lechol is a pesach, I thought. What do you have over there? Lechol is a pesach. What did I say? I said al-achilas. Okay. Lechol is a pesach. And what do you make in a chagiga? Shekil shalom tzibor chada Hashem al-kilim al-choylam. Shekil shalom tzisav tzivonu lechol es a chagiga. Because a pesach potar eshel zevach. Huh?
Lechol ha-pesach and lechol ha-zevach.
Not S?
No.
And he says S? Bekitzer, that should be our problem. But that's not the bracha. What do you mean? Zevach is chagiga. Let me just explain for a second. I skipped here. What's this chagiga? There's an idea that you're supposed to. The Torah says that you should eat the carbon pesach ala soiva when you're full. Now, if you have a small sheep that the entire carnation ron is taking a piece of kazais of that, you're not going to be full from it. So what do? In addition to that carbon pesach, you bring a carbon chagiga and you eat the lamb chops and you get full. And then when you're full from that, you go to the one carbon pesach and you eat your kazais. So that's called chagiga yudalid. There's another one called chagiga tasvav. We're not discussing. So the chagiga yudalid, you make a bracha. So he says over here, what if it's like the Shabbos Suda, you make a hamaitzi and then you don't make a mezainis on the kugel and on the chant or whatever, you make one hamaitzi. If you make a bracha, Asher Kishonim says it's Tzivon Lechol Pesach, you don't have to make a bracha on the chagiga. Let's say, I don't know exactly how it works, but yeah, it is backwards. But let's say you forgot, I don't know exactly the whole thing. Potar shel zevach. Shel zevach, but if you made a bracha on the chagiga, loy potar es ha-pesach. Divrei Rabbi Shmuel. So Rabbi Shmuel says it goes in one direction. In other words, Rabbi Shmuel is saying that the Pesach and the chagiga are similar because you could be yaitza the chagiga with the shvichas hadam. So it's in the same category of a Pesach. Pesach you have to pour, and a chagiga you have to throw the blood. But if you pour the blood for the chagiga, it's your yaitza, so the bracha will be mighty also. It's within the same category. But if you do the reverse, you say a bracha on something that you have to throw the blood, on the chagiga, it's not mighty, it's not the same as the Pesach, because if you throw the blood of the Korban Pesach, you're not yaitza. So if I make the bracha for the chagiga, I'm not yaitza on the Pesach. Rabbi Kiva Omer lo yizu b'ter zu v'lo yizu b'ter zu. There are two separate types of korbanos. You cannot confuse the two, and one bracha doesn't work for the other. In other words, he's saying that spilling the blood on the mizbeach does not pater the zrika. You're not yoytz zrika if you spill the blood of the carbon chagiga on the wall of the mizbeach. You have to do a zrika for chagiga, a shvicha for Pesach. Therefore, you have to make a bracha for chagiga and a bracha for Pesach. They're two separate types of korbanos. You cannot confuse the two. Divrei Rabbi Shmuel. So over here we have Rabbi Shmuel who holds that. What do I learn from this pasuk? We said that it's Rabbi Kiva who holds that shvicha is not like zrika. So dam zvachecha yishafech is not used for that. But according to Rabbi Shmuel, this is very important. Here, look at this chart for a second. What's the Gemara's question? I already used it up for the third thing on this list. That what? Shvicha is kosher when there's zrika. Who holds that? That shvicha is kosher for zrika? Rabbi Shmuel. So dam zvachecha yishafech, according to Rabbi Shmuel, is taken for the third thing on this list. Rabbi Akiva argues on that. Rabbi Akiva says, I don't learn that because it's puzzle, it's not kosher. Memela dam zvachecha is available, and I'm learning from dam zvachecha the top thing on the list that matan achas b'chaper. In a second, Rabbi Shmuel is going to learn another thing from dam zvachecha yishafech, which is this right over here. The meiser upesach tunim zrika. So the Gemara, I'm just explaining the Gemara's question in the future, because we're holding here, so it's going to be much easier to understand. The Gemara says, how can Rabbi Shmuel learn two things from one pasuk? You just learned shvichas ksheir b'mokim zrika, and now you're going to learn, and here we're starting now. Akati lahachudas, the dam zvachecha yishafech is coming to teach us that one application of blood, matan achas b'chaper? No. Let's see the pasuk for a second. Tell me how you understand this pasuk. Simple Hebrew. Ach bechar. Bechar is a type of a carbon. The firstborn animal goes to the kohen. And it goes shar, bechar kesev, or bechar eis, different types of bechar. So what are we talking about here? What carbon are we talking about? A bechar. As damam tizroig al mizbeach, v'schelbam taktir. We're talking about a bechar. Do you see any other carbon in this pasuk? No, I don't see. But the Gemara says yes. According to this machlokes, that this pasuk might be talking about other stuff. Bechar shar. The pashta says that all this plural lashon. Why is it so plural? Damam, chelbam. What is that? Why? Oh, shar, kesev. This is simple Hebrew. Three of them, three types of animals. Damam, chelbam. Very good.
Where's bechar extra? You don't have to say bechar 3 times.
Okay, I don't think the Gemara is going to address that. Bechar shar, bechar kesev, oy bechar eis. Lo manu lebechar sheton matan damim veimurim legabe mizbeach. From here, I learn that you have to apply the blood and the imurim on the mizbeach. Meiser v'pesach minayin. This is also a riddle. What is unique about a carbon about meiser and a carbon pesach? There's something super unique about these two things that other karbanas don't have. It's worth 35,000 points, MDY points. No, because you probably. I see that nobody really knows. So why don't you say the answer?
Shefted anywhere in the Torah. That's one thing. Also, only one.
No, that's not the answer I'm looking for. Shefting anything in that Zohar is all kachikalim. Next. What? Who? No. Super interesting. There's only two things in the world, Meiser and Pesach. Think about it. Let's do it together. Who eats the Meiser? Who eats Meiser? The Bailam. The Bailam takes it. It's like Meiser Sheni. You take it to your Yerushalayim, you eat it. It's like your own fruit. You give 10% to yourself, give Meiser to yourself. How much does the kohen get from this Meiser animal? No. 0. When you bring a carbon pesach to the Beis Hamikdash, how much does the kohen get of your carbon pesach? 0. These are the only two things that you bring to this. What about a carbon oila? It goes completely on the mizbeach. The kohen does get something. The iris. He gets the skin. So there's only two things in the world that the kohen gets 0. He does all this work. He's working there like an animal, like a kohen. He's working like a meshugana. All Pesach, every Pesach, 1,000,000 karbanas. Like shechting, his hand is killing him. 0. Meiser Pesach minayin tamad lo yimar b'dam zvachecha yishafech. From this pasuk, b'dam zvachecha yishafech, that I just learned a bunch of things and I pushed them off according to this Madama. So once again, the final thing on the list, Meiser Pesach, that you need Zrika, I learned from Dam Shafech. So it's not available for Matana Achaz Mechaper. Says the Gemara, no. So look Rabbi Yosef Lili. The pasuk says plural. He doesn't learn from Dam Zvachecha Yishafech. Dam Zvachecha Yishafech, according to Rabbi Yosef Lili, is available to learn your limud of the beginning of the suga, that it's enough to do one zrika, because he's learning from the words damam chel bam, which we saw before. We could see it again here. These two words, damam chel bam. Limeid, because it's plural. In other words, damam of the meiser, chelbam of the carbon pesach, not the shar, kesev, and a's. Leave it out before meiser vezel trondom damatum davim gavins bech. Rabbi Shmuel haikro mapiglei lahachi or mapiglei lahachi. So that's why I said I wanted to say the question there, so it's easier to understand. Rabbi Shmuel learned the purple, the second to the bottom, shvicha ksher b'makim zrika, because he argued in Rekiva. He learns that from Dam Zevachim. He also learns meiser. I gave her just to get up in the middle, but I didn't say the whole shir should leave. What is going on here? That whole table left. Okay, so you learn two limudim. How can you learn two limudim? Says Gemara, you're right. Trade Tanoia, Leiba the Rabbi Shmuel. Fine. We have a machlokes Tanoia, what Rabbi Shmuel said. Did he learn Dam Zevachim for the second to last or the last thing on this list? Now, if, according to Rabbi Shmuel, according to this one man, the Omar, in Rabbi Shmuel, the what? That I'm learning from Dam Zevachim Shafech, the last thing on the list. Ma'aser Pesach Tun Zrika. In other words, the second thing from the bottom, Shvicha, is possible b'makim Zrika. In other words, he would agree to Rabbi Kiva in that case. So it comes out that there's no difference between a Chagiga and a Karban Pesach. They're both Shvicha and Zrika, one doesn't work for the other. They're both. So how come if one doesn't work for the other, Shvicha does not work for Zrika, and Zrika does not work for Shvicha? So they're individuals. So why would one be mitzi the other? Why does Rabbi Shmuel hold that you can make a bracha on Karban Pesach and your yaitza Chagiga? According to what? Okay, if it's too confusing, according to the man that says in Rabbi Shmuel, we have two Talmidim arguing Rabbi Shmuel. So according to one man Shvicha is possible b'makim Zrika. So why is it that you can make a bracha on Karban Pesach and be mitzi Chagiga? So Rashi says because the Chagiga comes because of the Karban Pesach. It comes agav the Karban Pesach. But the Karban Pesach doesn't come agav the Chagiga. I'll go upon it. Bishlam el Rabbi Shmuel d'mokim leikulik b'bchar. If you say that this entire pasuk is talking about a bechar, ach bechar, shar bechar, it's not talking about a meiser and Pesach. Hainu d'chsiv ubsar miyelach. All these three animals, shar, kesev, a's, go to the kayin. But if this pasuk is also talking about two different types of animals called meiser and Pesach, and we just had a riddle that tells us that what? There's two karbanos in the world that you bring, the kayin gets zero out of it, and they're both meiser and Pesach. Meiser and Pesach, how do you tell me that it goes to the kayin? It's for the owner only. Says Gemara, what pshat is echad tam ve'echad balmum. Upsaram means that in the bchar, it doesn't matter even a balmum. Limit al bchar balmum shenitin lakayin, that the balmum, if you have a firstborn and he has a broken leg, you give it to the kayin. The only difference is, what's the difference if you have a balmum or not a balmum? If it's not a balmum, bring it as a carbon. The kayin gets to eat it afterwards. If it's a balmum, then the kayin eats it as is. That's why we're always careful that the kayin shouldn't go and poke a hole through its ear on purpose, because then he gets to eat the whole thing. He doesn't have to bring it to the Beis Hamikdash. Means no mum. Yeah. No. Typically speaking, I would think that a bchar goes to a kayin when it's whole, complete without a mum. How do I know that even a bchar that has a mum goes to the kayin? That's a big chiddush. That's why it says damam limit al bchar bal mum shenin la kayin shlemitzina loy b'chol haTorah kula. There's no other pasuk in the Torah that tells us such a chiddush. Taisus adds a little bit more. Maybe you could connect to that we know that typically speaking, when an animal has a mum, what do? You paid it. All these animals that go to Kevis land, what do you do afterwards? You redeem it. And you take the money and you use it for the Ketzim Mizbeach, not by a B'char. Balmum not. It's something different, unique, says Taisus. You don't do a pidyon. Here we have a little video here. These are the Balimum, right? Just the Geshmaka Balimum that he did once. Blind, broken, split eye, warts, dry rash, gewaldig. Check this out. Blind one, right? That's kohen. Even a balmum goes to the kohen.
Why did you come here? Only sick animals come here, and you're completely healthy.
Why do you think I'm healthy? I have ADHD. ADHD is not a defect, and you should be a sacrifice in the temple. Shh. I think I broke my leg.
Okay, so a balmum, even a balmum, either way, if it's not a balmum, it goes to the kohen, but first you have to go to the mizbeach, you have to go to the Beis Hamikdash. If it's a balmum, it goes straight to his house. Rabbi Shmuel, nafgalei, and how does Rabbi Shmuel learn this? That a balmum goes to the kohen, nafgalei, milchoyev, the seifa. Okay, there's another limo. Bishlam and Rabbi Yossi, huh? Amud Beis. Oh yeah, we have to do, thank you. Turning of the daf, sponsored by Dar Global Specialists in International Financial Services, Anonymous as the schus v'atzlacha ruchnis and gashmis, Anonymous in the schus and support of Torah that all tests should come back 100% healthy for me and my family. I want to say this, I thought about it last night. I have a tremendous akar satov to David Salomon, so a lot of people don't even know who that is because they probably skip. A lot of people might skip the beginning. So I'm going to say I never push people's businesses, but I thought about it last night. A guy who, not part of the shir, called me up, I want to give you probably the largest amount that somebody's given this year to the shir. I told him I can't push your business because that's not what I do. And we put it on the bottom, e-copiers. So Lemaisa, I want to tell the Olam, use e-copiers. If you could use e-copiers for your businesses. He gives a tremendous amount of tzedakah, not only to us, to a lot of different organizations. I don't know what he does. I mean, I guess you can make a lot of money off copiers, but you should use e-copiers. If you have a choice of using e-copiers or b-copiers, use e-copiers. Bishlam el Rabbi Yossi Aglili the Moikile Nami b'Maisur Pesach Haydach Siv Lo Sivda Kikoydeshem. Rabbi Yossi Aglili says that this pasuk we saw is not. It seems like it's only talking about a bechar, but it's talking about Meiser also. So that's why it says you should not redeem it. Kikoydeshem Hein Kravim Vein Tmurasam Kravim. We know krava. We know what Tmura is. Tmura is when a person sees he designated an animal and he says, I don't want this animal to be Meiser. I want the other animal to be instead of this bechar. This firstborn should be instead of this firstborn. However he does it. So you don't bring it as a carbon. This is not. Tmura as bechar or meiser. The second one, the one that's instead of hein uvladun uvlavladun atzoy kol ha'olam harehin ki bechar or meiser. In other words, you cannot redeem it. You send it to Kevis land and you let it befall a mum. And the owner gets it, the kohen gets it, in the Meiser case, the owner gets it. Usnan, Omer Yeshua, Shomati, Shetmuras Pesach Kreva, Utmuras Pesach Eina Kreva. I heard both. I heard that a Tmura of a Pesach, you could bring it as a carbon, and I also heard the opposite. Vainly lefarish. In other words, I know for a fact that sometimes the carbon Pesach you cannot bring as a carbon the Tmura. I heard an interesting pshat. The Rabbi Yeshua, as a baby, his mother, famous story, his mother used to bring him to the Beis HaMedrash in a stroller, or whatever she brought him. She used to roll him in there. So maybe that's the pshat. Shamati, vainly lefarish. I heard it when I was a baby, but I don't know the exact pshat. Okay. El Rabbi Shmuel, the Moikilei Kulei B'Bchar, but according to Rabbi Shmuel, the entire puzzle is talking about a B'Char, not carbon Pesach and Meiser. Meiser Pesach like Kareva Tumrasim and Ole. How do I know this concept, this halacha? That Meiser and Pesach is like a B'char, that you don't put it on the Mizbeach, the Tmura of it. Meiser Gomar Avara B'Bchar, this is a Gzer Shava to learn out of a B'char. Here, famous psukim, Chomasa Bakar B'Tzoyin Kosh Yavar Tachas HaShevet, you know, when you hit it with the red ink, V'havarta Kol Peter Rechem, so the word Avara. Pesach Bedek Sibei. Pesach also says here, Im kesev u'makriv es korban v'gevil Hashem. Ma tamaloyimar im kesev. L'Rabbi Tmuras HaPesach achar. Why does it say im? The word im. L'Rabbi Tmuras HaPesach achar Pesach shetikrev shlomim. In other words, the Tmura of the korban Pesach, when you say this should be instead of the korban Pesach, you do bring it as a korban. When? As a shlomim, after Pesach. If this happened after Pesach. I would think that before Pesach you also bring a shlomim. So here we have it. A korban Pesach you do not bring, if it's a Tmura, you don't bring it as a shlomim. Only after Pesach do you bring it as a shlomim. So let's just go back here for a millisecond. We know this inside out, but let's just do it again. The Tanoim, the bottom three limudim, different prices. What do you learn from Dam Zvachacha? You're supposed to take the leftover and pour it on the Yisoid. So if that's what you learn, how do you learn the top drasha? Matana Achas B'chaper. Let's say you learn the bottom drasha, that the Meiser Pesach needs Rika. From where? From Dam Zvachacha. So it's not available. So how do I know the top drasha, Matana Achas B'chaper, that I learned from Dam Zvachacha? How do they know the top drasha? They hold like Basil the Amri, Avchadash, and the son of Matonachas keeper. Basil have different psukim that they learn it out from, says Rashi, that by Chatos, one Zrik is enough. If Chatos that requires usually 4, and now is 1, so that's good enough. They took me seriously though. Short sugya. My time is the Where does Bishama get the idea that you need 2 zrikas, not 1? It says in the pasuk, karnois, karnois, karnois. Where is this pasuk? Here. It says 3 times the word karnois, without a vav. Now, without nekudas, you could read it karnas, which is 1. But it says plural. What is that called? That's called Yashem Lemikra and Yashem Lemesar. This is not a musag in Kachin, this is a musag in Shas. The way you read it and the way it was given us b'Mesayra. So if the way we read it, plural, each one equals 2 times 3 is 6. Harek and Sheish. The idea, the issue, not the idea, is that we have only 4 corners. You can't do more than 4 zrikas. There's only 4 corners on a square. So 4 teaches us that's the mitzvah. Then the Torah repeated another 2, and there's a concept only in Zevachim, in the Kachim I should say. Here, Musig in Kachim, you see that Rebbe Melech? Shana Olav Akasav Lakav. When the Torah repeats itself for a second time, it means you must do it that way. The Torah repeats itself on 2 zrikas, because 4 is for the actual mitzvah, that's what you should do. And another 2 to get to 6, those are ma'akiv. Says Bishami, you must do 2. Harikachesh, Arbel mitzvah, Ushtaim la'akiv. Or Basil, Karnas, Karnois. One of these 3 has a vav. But if you look in the Torah, we have a little bit of a problem. There's no vav. The vav went missing somewhere in history. It's super interesting. We had it a few times in Shas, where the Tanoim tell us that there's a vav, and we look in our Torah and there's no vav. In fact, if you look at the Torah of the Teimanim, in this week's parsha, it's one of the biggest differences between their Torah. They have a vav in one of the words. Vayihu, we have vayihi, and they have vayihu, something like that. Forgot the word. So we dropped a vav somewhere, or they added a vav. But it happens. They talk about this. It doesn't mean that what we have is wrong, or this is how we have it. We have it without a vav. But akopadim, he still has karnas, that's only 2, plus karnois, which is another 2, a total of 4. So, Harik and Arba, Shalish Mitzvah, Bachas Lakiv. What?
Before that, it was written that way.
No. Basil had it written with a vav. No. If it's Yeshleim L'Mesiris, so then it would be, L'Mikros would be all 3. If it's the Mesiris, it would be all 3. He says 2 of them says Karnas, 1 of them says Karnois. Only 1 out of the 3 says Karnois. What?
Look in the actual.
No, look in the actual Torah. It says karnois in all 3. It's written without a vav. But it still says 1 of them has a vav. Either all 3 have a vav, or all 3 don't have a vav. You got to pick. You can't say 1 has a vav. How are you picking which one has a vav? In the Sefer Torah, open it up. It says without a vav. All three have without a vav. It seems like Beis Hillel had a different Sefer Torah that had a vav. That's all I'm saying. You want to learn pshat that he said with only darshing one? I don't think so. It doesn't fit in. So, you have four. There's four corners. He says no. So all of them is not makiv. But one of them is makiv. Maybe two should be makiv? No. Maybe none should be makiv? Also no. Because it's impossible. You have to do, Zrika is an essential part. But there's no reason to say that it's two. So minimum is one. The Torah says do four applications. One of them is makiv.
Two applications that both are makiv.
Huh?
Two applications that both are makiv.
Why two? Why two applications?
Four. You have four times. So two are for mitzvah and two are makiv. Shana la kasav.
No, there's no shana. Shana is only if you have six. Four, that's the thing, plus two that are above the four. There's only four corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's shana. That's saying it. Shana, in addition to the four, I have another two. That's in addition to the four. But according to Beis Hillel, there's nothing extra. It's four.
You could have two and then say only two.
No, there's four corners though. There's four corners. Fine. Says Gemara. Who told you that one of them is essential? There's no shana over here. It's impossible that there'll be just a kapara without anything. Oh wow, it's late. I want to tell you a story here. I guess I have to stop over here. Maybe we could even start from the beginning of the sugya tomorrow. Okay, Rabbi Isai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.